I want to start off this video just by giving a big thank you to all you guys who have been so supportive. You know I've been having quite a crummy week, and you guys who click on the videos, hit that like button, and comment down below nothing but sweet things have made this a real tolerable situation for me. I'm so grateful to be able to do this for a living with you guys. So enough of me being mushy, let's get into the movie news. We've got so much to talk about here, guys. We have an update on the rebooted Power Rangers movie. A couple of details have come out. A really awesome update to Ghostbusters Afterlife that I think is going to pump up a lot of ghost heads out there. Fast and Furious 9 just taking it to unbelievable standards. That and so much more, guys, so be sure you're leaving your opinions down below on what you think of everything we've discussed so far, what gets you the most excited, what sounds the most ridiculous, and again, thank you for those who hit that like button, letting me know to keep making more of these videos. We're going to get into it with some horror movie news here, something that broke out just a couple days ago that made me unbelievably hyped for this film I was already looking forward to. Many of you know The Invisible Man that came out earlier this year and was a smash hit, a really great film, still one of my top 5 of the year. It basically set a new standard for what these Universal monster movies should be, and Universal has decided to greenlit a whole bunch of them. One of them in particular is a reboot of the Wolfman character starring Ryan Gosling. Now, we've all been waiting to hear more details on this, what's going to be going on, and according to Deadline, we just got the update that the director of The Invisible Man is now attached to the Wolfman reboot. This basically guarantees to me that the Wolfman reboot is gonna be a good movie. So far, Leigh Whannell, this director, has made nothing but quality content with the Saw movies, Upgrade, The Invisible Man, the Insidious franchise. The guy really doesn't seem to miss a beat, and the fact that he's now attached to the Wolfman reboot with Ryan Gosling, guys, it is just a great time to be a fan of these Universal horror monsters. Now, last we heard on this project, when this film was first announced with Ryan Gosling, we heard the details was that the movie was going to be about Ryan Gosling, who's a news anchor at a news station. It will be taking place in modern times, and they described the tone feeling a lot like the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. Now that Leigh Whannell has been convinced to be part of the movie, because they have it here in the article that they kind of had to nudge him, like, come on, you did a good job with Invisible Man, how about you do this? And then him finally coming around and going, fine, I'll do it. It looks like the story might change, so who knows if it'll still be about a news anchor or if Leigh Whannell has a whole new idea to bring to us. But this just really adds to the list of Universal monster movies that are in the works. So far, we have now The Wolfman, we have Dracula, we have James Wan producing a Frankenstein movie. There's even talks that John Krasinski is working on another Universal monster movie, yet to know what it is. All of these set in modern times and sticking horror centric. This is just great news for us. How do you guys feel about the director of Invisible Man working on the Wolfman reboot? And ooh, you thought we were done with Universal horror monsters? No sir, we have another freaking Universal monster movie in the works to add to that lineup, but this one is actually made for the family. Hollywood Reporter has the exclusive that Toy Story 4 director Josh Cooley is attached to a movie entitled Little Monsters that deals with a group of Universal monster creatures that is going to be a mix of live action and CGI. Details on the project go, Little Monsters' long line is being kept caged, but sources have described it as a love letter to classic Hollywood and the history of filmmaking, with a story that takes a multi-generational approach to the monsters. I know immediately when we talk about Universal monster creatures being turned family friendly, we can all go ahead and think about the Hotel Transylvania movies. And while some people can find enjoyment out of those, I'm kind of more looking forward to this, especially since it'll be live action mixed with CGI. Seeing all the monsters come together could be really fun to watch. And with a director who worked on a Toy Story movie, that also screams success to me, but I just can't believe how one movie like The Invisible Man snowballed all these Universal monster movies to get started. You guys out there, are you excited for another Universal monster movie, this time being family friendly? Speaking on family friendly, of course we know Disney loving their live action movies. They continue to give us more and more, and they're not stopping anytime soon. One of the latest films that they have in the works that is coming very soon, entitled Peter Pan and Wendy. This will be a live action interpretation of Disney's Peter Pan. Now I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, whoa, isn't there like a million Peter Pan movies? Well, Peter Pan is one of those characters that nobody technically owns, and anybody is allowed to make a movie about them. That's why there's tons of Peter Pan movies out there. But this will be specifically adapting Disney's version of Peter Pan that some of us grew up watching, and they've just made their first big casting choice on who will be playing Captain Hook. Collider has it here reported that Jude Law has been cast to play Captain Hook in Peter Pan and Wendy. Now, Peter Pan is a character I enjoy. I dig the movies. I am really looking forward to this, even though my favorite interpretation of a live-action Peter Pan movie was Hook with Robin Williams. It's really interesting to know the actors who turned down the role before it was given to Jude Law. According to reports, the people Disney went after before they went to Jude Law were Will Smith, Joaquin Phoenix, and Adam Driver. Those are some really great choices for Captain Hook, and it sucks that a lot of them passed on it. I'm really curious to know who they're gonna get for Peter Pan, how young they're willing to go, or if it'll be someone a little bit older. But for you Disney fans out there, are you excited for the live-action Peter Pan movie, and does this casting sound good to you? Getting to one of the movies that we were so close to seeing, but then the pandemic had to ruin it for us, Fast and Furious 9. Now, I am a huge fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. I know there's people out there who think it's ridiculous, it's dumb, but that's exactly what I love. The fact that it doesn't take itself so seriously and that it's very entertaining. Really curious to find out how they're going to do this whole John Cena secret brother thing. Well, one thing we can add to the list of ridiculousness attached to the Fast and Furious franchise is that Ludacris basically went ahead and admitted that Fast and Furious 9 will take the team to space. In doing an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he basically insinuated that Fast and Furious 9 will have some parts take place in space. This actually shouldn't be such a huge shocker because if you remember the trailers, they attach a freaking rocket to a car. Now, I'm not thinking the whole movie takes place in space or even a big chunk of it. I think it'll be sort of a cop-out where they make a car go to space and it probably just comes tumbling back down, and that's their quota for Fast and Furious in space. But man, I would not put it past them if it is a setup and Fast and Furious 10 takes place entirely in space, man. I guess you can't go too far when it deals with family. For you Fast and Furious fans out there, have they taken it too far, or are you willing to go on this ride or die ride and just go as far as Fast and Furious is willing to take us? Some news here for Ghostbusters fans. Still super excited for this film. I just hate that my hype for it has kind of died down because this was the weekend we were actually supposed to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. In an alternate universe where the pandemic never happened, this would have been Ghostbusters weekend, y'all. But one little news story that came out that not a lot of people are talking about, but I managed to find, and it got me so excited for this movie all over again, is Dan Akroyd was doing an interview with comicbook.com, and he admitted that the team will be suiting up once again in the film. This is exactly what he got to say. I've seen everybody. I run into Sigourney sometimes when I'm in New York. I'll see Bill Murray. Just over the years, I've had contact with all of them. But somehow we're back together and wearing these jumpsuits. And it's a production, and it was great. It was just very moving, and it was just wonderful. And the new cast is incredible. The kids are. That right there is so exciting to hear that by the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife, we're gonna see these dudes suit up again, and it really shouldn't be that big of a surprise. If you remember the trailer that came out, which feels like a long time ago, they gave us a shot of the suits, letting us know that they're still intact, that they're still there collecting dust. For you guys out there looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife, are you happy now knowing that Dan Akroyd confirms they're wearing the jumpsuits one more time? Getting to some really big news here, the Power Rangers movie, or I should say the Power Rangers reboot that is coming to us very soon. Now, if you have not heard about this, it actually sounds really epic. First, let me tell you the bad news. No, this is not a continuation of the live-action Power Rangers movie that we got a couple years ago. I wish we would have gotten a sequel to that because, hey, I didn't think that movie was all that bad, and I would have really liked to see where that universe was headed. This will be a complete reboot of the franchise with new actors and characters, and the storyline they have right now it's kind of cool. To get you up to speed, the story they have right now for this Power Rangers movie is that it'll involve time travel with a new set of Power Rangers traveling to the 90s to face a foe. How poetic is that Power Rangers, a property that started in the 90s, will have its new movie time travel to when it was at its peak. The latest details we have now to add on to this new Power Rangers reboot come to us from the Illuminati, who have gotten a lot of stuff right in the past, so I do trust them here on the channel. They have dropped tidbits on what this new team will be looking like and who the villain will be. They say that the time travel element is still part of the plot that they know of right now, and that the villain for this Power Rangers movie will actually be Lord Zedd. Now, I'm very rusty when it comes to Power Rangers lore and history. I've only seen a couple episodes here and there, but looking at the photos of what this Lord Zedd looks like, I cannot wait to see what his live action modern interpretation is gonna look like, man. The dude looks wild. Other details that they have in this report say the all-new Ranger team will not necessarily be limited to 5 Rangers, and it will include an original lineup of heroes. Hasbro is looking to create truly diverse cast, which will fully include different races and members of LGBTQ community. I know immediately after reading that there's some people who are groaning, rolling their eyes, getting mad, but your boy, have you not seen what the Power Rangers look like since it first appeared? It has always been about including a diverse group of characters to its lineup. So if it wasn't woke for you when you were 10 years old, you can't really call it woke now when you're focused on just hating everything, alright? This is kind of always what Power Rangers have been, and it only makes sense that they would include that. Other details go here that we will have different looks for the suits, so they won't only be wearing one type of Power Ranger suit. I'm assuming when they time travel, they probably get a costume change. And also, this will be mainly centered on a female character. So it looks like this time around, the Red Ranger, which has always been my favorite Ranger, will be a female character, which, I don't see a problem with that. I'm really down for this reboot. I can't wait to see what happens in it, but I want to hear from you guys, your honest opinions with this Power Rangers reboot. Do you like the sounds of these details, and are you looking forward to this new movie? But that is just all the movie news that's happened in the past couple of days. I am working on a Scream 5 update. I'll probably have that for you guys later today. It's some juicy details I found online, so be sure you're looking forward to that video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more movie related content, follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.